What's going on, guys? Today I'm coming at you with a new sled. Something that is seriously going to change your segmented cutting. It's going to give you those perfect segmented rings that we've all been looking for, and it's called a wedgie sled. Now this sled is seriously easy to make. You can make it in one day, no problem. It's cheap and affordable, and I'm going to show you how to make it. So let's go. So for this build, I'm just using maple plywood. Any plywood will do really, but maple's what I had on hand. And I'm just going to be cutting it to the dimensions of 19 by 16. These dimensions are going to keep it big enough to where you can manage bigger pieces, but small enough also to where it's not going to take up a ton of space. And this jig being called a wedgie sled, of course it is going to have the sled function, so you need to make a runner and attach it to your sled. I am not going to cover that because I think that there's more than enough information out there to let you know how to do that. The one thing that I will say is to make sure that your jig overlaps your table saw blade just enough to where you can flush cut it in the end. Once your sled is ready, we can start marking out the spaces for the T-track. 3 inches in from each side of your jig is a great place to put your T-track. Just remember that your T-track needs to be running parallel to your table saw blade. And now comes the fun part of routing out the slots for your T-tracks. Just remember with routing to take small bites. Don't try and dig out the whole canal for your T-tracks in one go. Take your time, do half a pass, then do your final pass to get to the depth that you need. Also, before you call it good, make sure that your T-track sits just below the top surface of your plywood. I'm talking like a hair below. You don't want your T-track sitting above your surface because even the smallest bump in the flat surface could cause slight problems in your finished rings. And once you've got those locked in, and you feel good about them, you can start working on your fences. My fences are 2 inches wide by 18 3/4 inches long. Now comes the kind of complicated / tricky part of this build, and that is putting the holes in your fences so that you can put your bolts through them. You want to find the center of your fences. Mine was 1 inch. And then put it on your jig and find out where the rails are on your fences. From that center point, I mark 1 inch down and 1 inch up. That will give you your starting point and your finishing point when you're routing. I like to take my 1/4 inch drill bit and drill out the starting point and the finishing point. That way there's no guessing when it comes to routing the slot. And again, take your time, do this in multiple passes, and you should come out with great looking slots, perfect for your bolts. Once you get your 4 slots in your fences, you are now ready to test fit the jig. These nuts and bolts I got off of Amazon, and I will leave you guys a link down below to the exact ones. And of course, if you did it all right, everything should be nice and slidey, everything should fit well, and it should feel and look like a wedgie sled. Next thing that I do is I just sand it down, make sure there's no sharp edges. You could throw a round over on this if you want. Oh, also I forgot, don't forget to cut off that edge that I told you to overlap when we first started. That's going to give you just a really nice clean edge to your table saw blade, and of course it will make your sled zero clearance. And of course, throw some finish on there. I threw some feed and wax on there, and I actually wouldn't recommend that. The finish isn't quite as glossy, and the sawdust tends to stick a little bit more to the surface of your sled. If I did it again, I would probably just throw a wipe-on poly on there or a water-based poly and keep that maple nice and light looking. But like I said, guys, this is a really easy build. You can definitely build it in a day. You could definitely build it in an afternoon if you really dedicate yourself. There are multiple ways to use this sled. You can use a digital angle finder, or if you want a quick no-brain setup, swing over to my Etsy and grab some of these wedgies. There is a link on how to use them down in the description below. Bam! What did I tell you guys? Was that not an easy build? I love this sled because it's easy, it's something you can build in a day, and I don't have a third reason. Now obviously you can cut this sled to any length and width and modify it however you want. You don't have to do it the way that I did it. I just wanted to show everybody the way that I do it, because I know that if you're like me, you just want to be shown how to do it so you can copy it and make it yourself. The cool thing about this jig is that you're going to get really, really nice rings out of it. And that's what all of us segmented turners want, is nice, as close to perfect rings as we can get. Alright guys, I hope this video helped you guys out and showed you a good way to build this sled. Follow me on Instagram, make sure that you tag me in your sled builds because I would really love to see them. Also, if you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments down below and I will try to get back to them as soon as possible and help you guys out. If you aren't already, make sure you're subscribed and drop a like on the video. I hope you guys have a good day. Be good, be safe, be happy, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace!